Hello, and just a quick video just to give you some latest news. Yesterday was Friday. It was the 6th of January, and as we know, in the news we've been hearing lots of stories about the NHS and hospitals. I've got a story to tell you that's real. It happened yesterday, and I had to. Well, I was designated driver for my dad. He actually the night before fell over in the bathroom, and it looked like he damaged his back quite badly. So, as I was taking him to the surgery for something else, he inquired as to whether they could look at him. They said no, you have to go to the minor injuries unit. So on the way home I said, you know, you're in pain, do you want to go to the local minor injury? 8 miles away. We've got two which are both 8 miles away, so they're not close, and you do have to drive. So he said, oh yeah, go on then, I'll do that. So we went, and surprisingly we pulled up in the car park, parked up, walked inside in this, and I had expected it to be heaving. Literally, it was empty. There was nobody in there. And the lady behind the desk saw him struggling, came over, took his details, and I would say within 5 minutes, he was in the examination room having his vitals checked and various other things, and giving a sample. And after, I would say, probably about half an hour, we were advised that there was a problem with the urine, and they contacted our local big hospital, which is Bath, RUH in Bath, and we were advised to go there. They gave us a letter, and obviously with all the details in it, and they said to go to A&E. Again, this is about, I would say, from where we were, is about, I don't know, about 12, 14 miles, I would say, or 16 miles maximum. Again, you need to have a car. It's the hospital itself is in the middle of nowhere, sort of thing. It's up a big hill, and I mean there is public transport obviously, but he would not be able to use that, certainly not in his current state. So off we went, and lo and behold, again, quite shockingly, we walked in there, and it was busy. It was, I would say it was busy, but it wasn't heaving like I've seen it before. There was people waiting, but as I say, we walked in, straight into check-in. They said, go and sit in the red zone. No idea what that means, but you can see the photo I took of me in the red zone. In fact, they call it the red star, but the red star zone. I don't know why a red star. It could be any sort of shape, but they chose a star. I'm just very conscious of being red and star-shaped. We were there for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes maximum, and a very nice nurse came over. I think she was Asian, don't know which country, but she was very polite, very able to speak very good English, and which was good for my dad because he didn't really understand. He's got this slight dementia, and he is probably about 80% deaf. So, and the only drawback with all of this is that they were wearing nappies on their faces. Incidentally, there's a little story that whilst we were checking in, the lovely nurse behind the counter, she was obviously wearing a nappy. we said, oh no, he can't understand what you're saying. And she went, okay, I'll pull it down for a bit. I said, well, don't put it back up, take it off. And she went, no, I'm sorry, I can't, because we'll get into trouble. So clearly, wearing nappies is a directive coming from the NHS, even though I've seen staff wearing them around their chin, and the majority of staff do wear them. So it is a directive, and she was obviously very worried about being in trouble, so she put it back up after. But I got the impression from her, how she spoke, was that she didn't agree with it. Whether she came out and said it or not is another matter, but hey. Anyway, 5 to 10 minutes, we took into this room, and we were seen by a proper senior nurse, and given the questions and a quick examination. And then it was decided that he should go back out and wait, and they would order a scan, a CT scan. So you can sort of pretty much assume that this was probably about going on for 3:30, roughly, give or take 3:30, I would say, by this time. And we were sat there in sort of this area, and of course they've got the the usual screens segregating the seats. There was single seats and there was double seats, and there were all perspex things around them. Obviously pushing the narrative. And these people were coming in now as time went on. It was a steady stream. There were people there who were there at the same time as us, and even people who were there before us. I drove the car in and I dropped him at the door because there was nowhere to park nearby, and because there was only one disabled spot in a bay and it was occupied, I took it just a little way up the road, not too far, because I didn't have my scooter. I had my walking aid, and I couldn't walk very far anyway. So I parked it in the what they call the 20-minute bay, 20-minute pickup bay, knowing full well that it was going to be more than 20 minutes. Well, I'm not worried. Fear mongering, I'm not worried. They can give me a ticket if they want. I won't be paying it. They can have my bill. They can have an invoice for my time, and we'll go down that route. So, because these companies, these parking enforcement companies are not legal. They don't have any rights to charge you any money for parking your car. So, anyway, that's another story, which I'll tell you about. Obviously, I didn't get a ticket at the time, but they use ANPR, so it will probably come in the post, and we'll see. So we're waiting, and these people are coming in. I'm thinking, trying to guess what these people have got, and there was obviously the usual hacking chest coughs. There was people there holding their chest with their hands. There was a couple of those. There were people who looked like possibly that they had mild strokes. There was a couple of those. There was people obviously with injuries. There was a couple of broken legs, sprained ankles. And as these people came in, they sat, they waited, they got seen in what they call triage. And to be fair, triage was very quick. It was the extra bit that was not very quick, unfortunately, because 2 hours later, so sort of we're talking about now is about 5:30. We're thinking, when are they going to come? in actual fact, it was about 3 hours, and we decided, well, I decided to go and ask because it was getting on a bit. Anyway, shortly after, they came and wheeled him, took him away. 20 minutes later, he came back. And we thought that perhaps they would get rid of him quick. They, give him the results. It's just another patient that they can get rid of, and we would be gone. So the answer was no. Another 2.5 hours waiting, and we were thinking it's going to drag on. We were getting very concerned about the time. He is a diabetic, and we hadn't had any food for, since the morning, because we'd been out since 12 o'clock. And the only machine that they had was a small bottle of water for £1.40. Cash or card, that's good. And I paid cash because I had that much money. He drank a little bit of it, but I drank most of it. Then we were thinking, well, we haven't eaten, so we need some food. Anyway, I said to the nurse behind there, Jessica, I said, he is diabetic, is there any chance that we can speed this up? Because he needs to eat. And he said, oh, yeah, all right, well, I'll go and ask, and I'll try and get you some food. They didn't get some food. They didn't get any water, didn't get any food, didn't do anything like that. So in the end, we were both, that much starving. I went back to the machine to get these sandwiches. I didn't have enough cash, so I had to use a card. £2.40 for what you would buy for the, for the single sandwich, egg mayo, and it was all right. I mean, it's very cold where it had been in machine, but we had half of it each, and it sort of helped a little bit. Anyway, another 2.5 hours later, whatever, and after a lot of persisting, my dad even went up to the desk as well, and he was like trying to go to the toilet, but on the way through, I was chatting to the nurses, who were very nice, and somehow they sort of speeded up a bit. We went back into the office area where they were seeing patients, and it was another doctor that we'd seen, so very nice chap. And he gave him the bad news. He had broken 2 ribs and broken 2 parts of his lumbar spine, the actual, what they call his spinous processes. They stick out on either side from the vertebrae, and they have very little function. They don't do anything except that muscles attached to these spinous processes. So 2 of those are broken or shattered, and 2 ribs where he fell backward. So there's nothing they can do. I mean, basically you have to take painkillers and wait 6 to 8 weeks. And as he's 85 years old, I think that this is going to be quite a long process. So by this time we're sort of 9:30, quarter to 10. So we had actually been there for over 7 hours in this A&E, and seen the staff twice in that time. The rest of the time we were waiting on these very hard chairs, watching what was going on. Yes, and as I say, people were coming in by this time in the evening. Seeing that it was a Friday, there was a lot of people coming in now, and they were demonstrating obvious symptoms that I was trying to guess. Obviously, I don't know what they actually were, but you can sort of put 1 on top of 1 together and get 3. from somebody that's coming in holding their chest like this and sort of breathing heavy, whether it was a chest infection or whether it's heart problems, we don't know. But yeah, it was pretty much how it was. And there was obviously a lot of people with hacking coughs. And there was a couple of people there with holding their heads and not able to stand the light and trying to keep their eyes shut and things like this. But they were obviously well, I'll leave that to you to decide what you think, because obviously we're on YouTube and we can't really make any judgments about it. But the last point I want to make is the experience was very pleasant. The staff were very nice, and whilst we did have to wait, quite a long time, it was okay. And we got seen on a Friday night in rush hour. I would have guessed that it would have been a lot more hectic, and it wasn't really that bad. What we did see on the way to the car were 8 ambulances all lined up, empty. The crews were waiting. I don't know what they were waiting for, but there was 8 crews and 8 ambulances, and they were outside the hospital. Make your own mind up about that. But as we say, during the day in my area, I've heard sirens going 3, 4 or 5 times. And thinking back, to a couple of years ago, you would never have heard that. It would never have been 3 or 4 or 5 a day. And you probably rarely hear 1 a week. And it's one of those things that you don't really register unless you're actually looking for it. And because they happen so often, you tend to notice it. So I thought I'd share that with you because it was a very interesting story. And of course, the NHS is in the news. And what they're in the news for is being overwhelmed. That's it from me today. Have a very good day. Oh, by the way, he's back home. He's happy. He's on the meds. And he's okay. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Hello and welcome. The topic today is the website www.talkingreally.co.uk. I have added a new function. Yes. So I thought we'd go through and have a quick look around and show you, because there is actually a members area that currently has nobody in it. Maybe because people don't know about it, but hey, let's have a look, shall we? And this is the front page, home page. Welcome to the website, where you can find information about various subjects. So things like DWP, claiming benefits, social isolation, politics, carer management, loneliness, relationships. And we do regular live streams, guest appearances, and there's basically a chance for you to phone in. I've added this new service. It's booking a one-to-one appointment with me, which will be done via Zoom, and we can discuss anything you like within reason. So it could be you want to find out about benefits, relationships, exercise, health, utility bills. Remember, there is a whole way that you can stop paying for your electric and your gas. And currently I am saving myself £200 a month. So anyway, I hope that was useful, and thank you for watching.